And in one weekend, she wrote down the entire plot to Shadowbringers and even the post-patch content. She wrote it all down in just a weekend. That's crazy.
That's hella crazy.
Or at least it would be.
Did you know that, Disaster?
If I weren't lying to you.
Oh, shit.
That's right. No, dude. No, that's crazy. No. Planning. There's no shortcuts.
There it is.
For skill.
Is the answer.
All right, next slide, please.
No shortcuts.
The shortcuts. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you about all the shortcuts. I was lying. There's so many shortcuts you can take.
I've taken the world by storm. I've been making videos for a year now, and with all 2 of my highly edited Final Fantasy XIV videos, I've managed to climb to the very top.
That is true. Doesn't he have like 2 videos?
I'm now equal
They're really good
power
though.
to Yoshi P, and my power only continues to grow. But I am a generous god, and I know many of you aspire to be just like me and Yoshida here. So today, I will tell you
How to make people cry. Yeah, I gotta go watch this at some point. Now, are these live or are they like pre-recorded? Like, is this live right here? Like the character walking around, or pre-recorded? That's what I'm wondering. This part's live. Okay. Oh, there's an audio mess up here. I know this is a recording of the live show. I know that.
They can hear the music, but they can't hear the voices. Are we good? Are we good?
Thank you,
Right.
cameraman, for unmuting me. Dude, I was all right, chat. I was gonna tell him, like, make sure I'm unmuted, but I was like, he's probably got it. He's fine.
We'll see how it
Hello,
goes.
guys. Welcome. Fuck, dude. Hey, guys. I'm gonna teach you how to make people cry. Technical difficulties. That's how it happens. All right. I'm gonna fuck. Oh no. All right. I'm sorry. I'm running it. I'm going to tell you how to make people cry, how to make people laugh, and how, most of all, to make good content. Because I think at the end of the day,
I have to watch this. If he's gonna teach the secret of how to make good content, I should watch this.
me and Yoshi are not too dissimilar. The way Final Fantasy is good, the way my videos are good, it's all the same in the end. We hijack your emotions. So, let's get started, shall we?
It's true.
Inspirations. If you want to make good content, here's my first tip.
I wonder how much he practiced. Like, all right, when I get to this part, I'm gonna emote like this, and when I get to this part, I'm gonna face here and do this emote.
You have, and I mean have, to steal. I'm talking like no limits. You got to be fucking ruthless with that shit. You got to figure out exactly what it is you're gonna steal. Nothing is original in this day and age.
So this is true, because when I saw like P.I.N.T's videos, the first videos I saw from P.I.N.T were like World of Warcraft ones, and I wasn't even playing World of Warcraft, but they popped up on my feed, and I was like, man, this style of editing is really good. And at the time, I was like, I have no idea how to do it. Now that I've been editing a little bit, I still have no idea how to do it, but I know the keys to it a little bit. I'm a little more aware of it now, but that's something I was always interested in, was trying to up the production value, the editing. But it's a little different, right? Because right now I'm just trying to get out my, playthrough, which is a playthrough. It's just, it is what it is, right? But other types of videos for the future, learning that. Yeah, his editing is amazing. And basically, my thought process was, I'm going to plagiarize his style and put my own twist on it. Because that's really what happens. I have no idea how to edit the way he edits, using Blender and things like that. But once I get in there, if I ever get in there, something I've thought about, if I ever get in there, I'm sure I will kind of, start learning my own way. But yeah, definitely.
Don't get caught up on that.
This
You
speaks
think,
to me.
You think Yoshi P came up with Shadowbringers from nothing? Nah, that shit's ripped up straight from Tolkien. You think the Dark Knight quest line is good? Nah, that shit's straight up Fight Club. I'm telling you. If you're gonna be creating something, you're gonna be stealing something, whether you know it or not. You gotta get over that right now. So,
We should.
what inspires you? Well, many things can inspire you. I mean, think about Final Fantasy itself.
I would like to watch this with you all sometime in full instead of me watching it on my own. If you would like to rewatch it, I think that'd be fun. Because my train of thought also is I can make a video out of it, of just a react vid, which is easy content to put out. Because that's what people do, right? Honest to God, that's one of my motivations. Probably that's the reason he just releases a yearly kind. Yeah, no, I bet those vids take a long time to make, a really long time to make. My playthroughs, which I'm just taking pre-recorded videos and kind of chopping them up, that takes a while. His style, I've made like 5-minute Kenshi montages, which is different from just, you know, taking a playthrough clip. I was actually making like a montage, a music vid. A 5-minute montage, and this is just a 5-minute montage, could take me anywhere from like 4 to 5 days of editing. Because I'm going back and retweaking things and things like that. And he's putting out like, 20-minute or 30-minute whatever long videos full of really high quality editing. That's gonna take a long time. We need to watch the documentary too, by the way. We do need to watch the documentary. That is true.
I've been playing this game for like a year now.
Like theater mode?
Frankly, I
don't
think
know.
if the cameraman would change the slide to the thing I'm talking about.
Can I see chat if I go full screen?
If you
No, I can't. I haven't been on Twitch in a while.
man.
We'll go like that.
Dude, okay, chat. I got people in my ear. I'm sorry. We'll cut that. Friends. Oh, so many friends. Funny friends.
What's going on, Raul?
Mostly funny friends. Like, if let's say your friend makes a joke about like, dude, Hoshapant's got a funny hat in that one cutscene. Maybe you can take that joke, put it in a video. What I'm trying to say is no one thing comes out of a vacuum.
What he's also trying to say is I need to use all of you for content, which I do, which is why I'm watching this with you and not by myself. See, I'm learning already. I feel used. You are being used. I'm using you right now.
The trick to being creative is pulling it from as many places as possible. Whether that's the game you're playing, the video you're watching, the friends you have. You got to find it where you can, and you can't have shame with that. It's shame. It's all from different places that make up a whole.
What's going on, Flu?
You need to study it. You need to emulate it. You need to let it guide you. Figure out why it makes you feel a certain way. Figure out how to make people feel.
By the way, these drawings are cool. I like them.
Now you may be thinking, Pint, I'm super into Palace of the Dead. No one wants to watch that, and you would be right. That it sucks. You shouldn't do Palace of the Dead content. But
I wanted to do Palace of the Dead content,
and I do mean everyone.
I wanted to get the achievement because I thought that'd be a cool thing to have.
I mean, look at it. We're playing Final Fantasy right now. We're playing Final Fantasy XIV. The deadest game in the entire world. I mean, we could all be playing Minecraft right now and I'd have like 2 million viewers. But no, here we are, Final Fantasy. There's a niche for everyone. So I'm going to bring up two of probably the biggest streamers in Final Fantasy.
Unpaid internship.
We have Lucy Pyre and Preach Gaming. Maybe the two most different people in the entire world. I mean, one is like a psychotic demon. The other's Lucy Pyre.
So I just started getting a little bit familiar with Preach. Some of you have been linking me. Disaster's been like, you've been showing me some of his stuff, and I know he had like events. Seems like a cool guy. I'm like, as far as the FF community, like Zepla, I'm familiar with. Quasi, I'm familiar with. This anime girl, she's popped up on my feed a couple times. And I've watched like 1 or 2 videos. Not as familiar, but she definitely, as Pint is saying, she's a bit different from Preach. They have 2 different styles for sure. I mean, she's an anime girl. She's a VTuber.
Raiders, am I right? Now, I mean, let's be honest here. Let's be serious for a moment. We've got Preach. He makes content for like generally an older crowd. He's
Preach is from the MMO scene in general, but mainly from WoW, right? But he does, you know, he's not just FF.
you know, he's like 25 himself, but generally his audience tends to be a little older. He's definitely got a more mature vibe to him.
I also have a more mature audience, as evident by the chat here, right?
Talks a lot about game design, whereas Lucy talks about cum pretty much exclusively.
Oh.
And yet here they are under the same banner, under the same game, and it works for them. So frankly, don't worry about, is my content gonna be good enough for people to play? Think about, is this gonna be good enough for anyone to watch?
I worry about that sometimes too. When I mean, I don't worry about it, but I think about it, like, why would anyone watch my videos? Why is there any reason anyone will watch? There's always, you know, it's always up here, right?
The person that I'm trying to get to watch it, are they going to like it? That's what you should worry about. Because I think that's what Yoshi does too, right? Like, it's like this game focuses exactly.
Ironically enough, Disaster was one of the first people I roped into watching me do Final Fantasy things. Somehow it happened. Paul is obligated to watch me because we built a friendship starting 5 years ago. Pretty much obligated. So is Sorrel. Sorrel I know in real life, so she is obligated. Am I a joke to you? No.
On the biggest player metrics or anything.
You're
like
obligated
that.
Though.
It focuses on being a good game first, and the people who just enjoy this type of thing tend to like it very, very much. But I've got ahead of myself. We have the hardest part right here, friends.
Getting started.
Cut the music.
Starting.
This is serious.
I don't know. I feel like that's always the hardest part.
Hey, you right there. You think this shit's easy? You
No.
think making YouTube videos for a living is fun?
Seems kind of fun.
Slaving away in editing programs for hours is easy.
It's not easy, but it is kind of fulfilling and fun, though.
No, it's not easy. But you know what's even harder than all of that? It's starting.
I told you.
Anything. Starting any video, starting anything is harder than anything else in the whole world.
That's always the hardest step for anything that if you're trying to get in better shape. Starting is the hardest part. So sometimes you know, people get caught up in their own minds, right? Like, oh, okay, I want to start getting in shape. I'm gonna go to the gym. Oh, let me watch YouTube videos on like what exercises I should do. Oh, what should I wear to the gym? Oh, what are people gonna think of me when I go to the gym? When really, you should just go to the gym. You know, quitting is harder than starting, depending on what it is. I would say yes, but that's another point. Now, I still think starting is the hardest. We're trying to speak in a positive light here. We're talking about positive things. Okay, Disaster? Yeah. Starting something is the first step to failure. Homer Simpson. Well quoted. But failure is part of it. Like, here's the thing. Looking from the outside into a world that you don't know. Again, if I use fitness, for example, exercises, nutrition, how to train, everything that goes into that, from the outside, it can be daunting. But the key is getting started, because the key is being in the space and being in the environment for an extended period of time. That's when, you know, you start picking up the lingo and all the nuances that you would never get from looking from the outside in. So he's talking about like video making and editing here, right? When I first started, I said I have no idea how to edit a video, but I figured the easiest thing to do was just to record gameplay and just put it in, just straight up put it in a program. Or upload it as it is. That's how I first started. I played Ghost of Tsushima, and I just uploaded like 1 to 2 hour long videos of me playing. No edits, nothing. That was the first step. Second step was, okay, I need to make this better. How do I edit this down? I have to cut it up. I have to, cut to the more important parts. It takes more time. But then I start learning how to use the program more. I start learning how to, zoom in, zoom out, transition, pan, use effects, blah, 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 things like that. So what you're saying is I just need to start my Cyberpunk playthroughs and make highlight videos. I've always been telling you that, Ball. You just need to start making, you're doing your FM stuff. You just got to keep going, right? Yeah, probably Samurai Build. Okay, we're talking about Cyberpunk now. Let's go.
And that's why I'm going to dedicate the next 5 minutes to trying to get you to get off your goddamn ass and make something out of your life. So here's the big secret. There's no secret. You just have to start. There's no secret at all. You actually just have to wake up one day and decide, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to make it as good as I can possibly make it. Now,
your life is perfectly acceptable.
I have a made-up statistic here that I'll read off my sheet of paper.
I think the point is, if you're comfortable, sure, right? Keep doing the thing. As long as you're happy, keep doing the thing. But a lot of people, you want to try new things every now and then. Feels daunting. Don't overanalyze it. Just jump right in. Ram your head into the wall many times. Boom.
99% of people won't make it. But that's not because only 1% of people can make it. I believe that only 1% of people really try. Now, that's not to say that, if you don't...
The people, take any artist, athlete, blah, 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 whatever, masters of their crafts. The reason why they're masters is because they make that hobby, that craft, that activity a part of their daily life. And the key is they do it even when they don't want to do it. That's why they're so good at it. It's just ingrained in them. That's how you become better. Make it part of your daily life, and you're just practicing it every day. That's the key. Motivation is fleeting. Motivation is a great starting point, but motivation is going to go away. It always goes away. And the question is, what does one do when the motivation is gone? I think that's where, the gym, getting active again. That's the hard part, right? Because a lot of people, right? New Year's resolution. I'm going to lose 30 pounds, 20 pounds, blah, blah, blah. And they go ham. They go hard for a couple months. And then they lose the motivation. And then they stop. But the people who actually reach their goals, I don't like working out like half the time. Sometimes I find it quite enjoyable. The other half I don't. But I do it anyway because I know it's something I got to do. And it's just kind of it's ingrained in my daily life, right? Paul would just quit. Paul, we're gonna get you on the right path here, buddy. It's about passion. Ted Bundy level passion. Right. Just think about how far Ted Bundy got. Because he never gave up. And he kept doing what he did and ingrained it part of his daily life. That's the lesson here.
Succeed. It's just because you're not trying. Of course, you're trying, and I commend you for that. But a lot of people, they never even open up an editing software. They never open up Microsoft Word and write down exactly what they think their idea is going to be. And that's true for life. I mean, how many of you wrote down a plan for what you're going to do over the next year? Frankly, I think that could help a lot. But I mean, barring the self-discipline of starting, there's also the general vibe of, hey, do you genuinely like this? I mean, when Tommy In It drops a 2-hour-long
no idea who this person
podcast
is.
Talking about...
Eb doesn't know who Ted Bundy is. Ted Bundy's a killer. That's why... That's why I was a little hesitant to say what I was going to say, but I beat to disastrous point. Right? I guess he had passion for what he did.
At what fonts he uses in a YouTube video, and I get genuinely excited. I feel like that's a pretty good sign that this content thing is way too deep in my brain, and I need to figure out some other form of enjoyment. But at least if I like Tommy In It, and I like my fonts, and I like my little content creation game, then I can look around. I can get inspired. And most of all,
chat bubbles.
I can fucking start.
We can have chat bubbles.
That's what you need to do. Make sure you can start. More than
I miss having chat bubbles.
Please, I beg you. And I mean, that even applies to content creators that are still going right now. Because I'm sure most of you probably haven't started, but some of you have probably started. And if you've started, you probably are putting off like that one video that you think you could make, but you just it's kind of a lot. I don't know if I want to do that video.
I've thought about it. I have a lot of different ideas for Kenshi, for Final Fantasy, and even for Persona. Like thinking about the future here. Like for Persona recently. I don't know. I feel like doing like a tier list video would be very popular with the Persona crowd. That's just the vibe I get. But for Final Fantasy, like I was spitting ideas off with Sorel. I was talking about like a short 5-minute cinematic movie called The Warrior of Light after MSQ, like a short cinematic sequence, side quest one should do, or funny chat dialogues, NPC dialogue, chat bubbles, like the chat bubbles you find, things like that. But I haven't done them yet. It's a little daunting, but it's also partly because I'm still trying to get I have like 5 terabytes of Final Fantasy MSQ footage that I want to make sure I use also to this point, right? It is daunting thinking about it.
Trust me, starting something and failing is better than never starting at all. Now, let me tell you about my favorite person in the entire world. Natsuko Ishikawa. Yes, she wrote Shadowbringers.
The writer, right? Yeah.
And
okay.
I think some of Heavensward, and also I think the Dark Knight questline and Endwalker, but I haven't played Endwalker yet. But my friend, oh my god, she is the best. Now, little fun known fact about Yoshida Natsuko Ishikawa is the way she wrote Shadowbringers is actually very incredible. Can we cut the music here? This is a pretty serious topic. So, unlike most writers, she sat down and in one weekend, she wrote down the entire plot to Shadowbringers. She got every character wrote down their lore, their personalities, all their plot lines.
That's a lot.
Everything they would do in the expansion. And even the post-patch content. She wrote it all down in just a weekend. That's crazy.
That's hella crazy.
Or at least it would be.
Did you know that, Disaster?
If I weren't lying to you.
Oh, shit.
That's right. No, dude. No, that's crazy. No. Planning. You have to plan. That's what this whole bit's about. No, look at that. You think she would not plan? No, you have to plan. If you're gonna make anything good, it will be planned.
Maybe that was
think
her
about
plan.
how much planning went into the
thinking.
show for the mic to be muted at the start and for me to get nervous and stop talking sometimes. You have to plan, and even with plans, there's gonna be hiccups. But at least when you plan, there's gonna be something. There's gonna be something worth watching. My general philosophy is, the more you plan, the better it will be. No, that's wrong. No. Don't listen to that. It's not the more you plan, the better it will be. The better you plan, the better it will be. So, I generally have a bit of a rule for how I plan something. Write, complete, refine, repeat. Bars. So, what do I mean by this?
Bars.
I mean, this is the process I take. And this is a sort of cyclical process on how I write my videos. So let's just get started with a write, shall we? Build it out. Now, this is a pretty vague step. You want to open up a Word document and you want to just write down like vaguely what you want the video to be. You know, it's a video about how Black Mage is hard. It's
by the way, I mean, talking about prep work, this little PowerPoint they got going on in the back probably took some time to create too.
It's a video about how I enslaved my Final Fantasy guild. You know, that sort of thing. Build it out, general rough it. Then you want to have you want to figure out, okay, what am I going to talk about? I'm going to talk about the leveling of Black Mage. I'm going to talk about the rating of Black Mage. I'm going to figure out all that stuff, you know? Figure out what you kind of want the general idea to be, start to finish. Then, oh, my friends, you've done it. You've completed it. And it's bad. It's fucking awful. I mean, you should probably just give up. You should be ashamed. Like, really? But, hey, look at that. You're only halfway through the process. It's fine for it to be bad. You think Shadowbringers was good the first time? No. Because the first iteration of Shadowbringers was 1.0. And we all know about 1.0. I mean, hell, ARR is,
Yeah, to Disaster's point, I still have to watch that documentary. Everyone says is really good. And I feel like everyone who pops in here has already watched it. I've yet to watch it.
Oh, something. Anyway, after you've completed it and it's bad, it's very important that you refine it. Ask your friends. Fucking maybe post it, post the finished thing to Reddit and be like, what do you think, guys? You think this is good?
I did that with Sorel quite a bit. In this stage here. In various aspects. I did it kind of more in the beginning when I was making like random short vids. I'd send it to Sorel. Be like, hey, what do you think? But I do this with like, you know, it's not exactly the video making process, but with thumbnails. Y'all, everyone here are part of that process, or you're, you know, I show you the behind the scenes and I take your input as we make thumbnails. Oftentimes we'll do a thumbnail on stream, and then by the time the video comes out, I've refined it on my own time, but y'all are part of the making of that a lot of the times, right?
And then all the comments will be like, actually stop. You should never try this ever again. And that's okay. If you can get any constructive criticism, if anyone can tell you this joke doesn't really land, this joke is really good, anything to help you figure out what should be there and what shouldn't be there.
Okay, you want to put this into work right now? What should I do with my vids? How should I change my vids? Any critiques for my vids? The current status of them.
Good. Make sure that you refine it. And I think asking friends is good because everyone's got friends, right?
Long pause.
Oh.
Long
right.
pause.
The audience is a bit sparse. Anyway, the last step. My favorite of all. Repeat. That's right. Don't crack under pressure. I'm telling you, this is the most important part.
I need an animated intro. So here's the thing. I've seen mixed opinions regarding animated intros. And the conclusion I've come to, I think an animated intro is fine with a larger channel and an established channel. Here, I think this is the way I think about it and why I didn't do it. Even Paul has one. Well, here's my reasoning for not having one, right? For videos, the most important part of the video is usually like the first 1 to, I don't know, 30 seconds, 1 minute. That's going to determine if someone's going to stay and continue watching the video. So when a large established channel puts an intro in the beginning, I think people are fine with that because they're large and established. They know what they're going to get and they're going to continue watching. Whereas, and I do this, I'll think about it too. But if I watch a channel that I don't really know, then, and they put like an intro in the beginning, like it kind of takes away from like the video a little bit, right? Put the animated intro after the little highlight reel in the beginning. But to me, I don't know. I never saw an animated intro as like super important. I have an outro, but and I was even thinking of getting rid of the outro too. And that's the other thing too. If I was to have an animated intro, I would want it to be like 3 to 5 seconds. I feel like 10 to 15 seconds is way too long. I've come across animated intros that are like 20 seconds. I skip through those. It's a branding thing. Okay, I can consider that. But here's the other thing. I'm a small channel, right? So it's also like, again, the analytics, the algorithm, I don't know how it works. But if I cut as much fat as possible, I view that as better. Need more sound effects and editing. I started doing that with Persona. A little bit here with Persona, like maybe like in transitions, things like that, because those things actually add up, like the little sound effects, small transitions, things like that. They actually, I feel like they really do impact the video, but it's one of those things that people don't really notice, but it kind of completes things, right? The funny thing is the outro that I currently use was supposed to be the intro, but I decided to remove the intro because I felt like it wasn't needed, or it was just kind of taking up space in the beginning. Analyzing the analytics, the algorithm, I have no idea how it works, but if I have a 1 minute video and 10 to 20 seconds of that is an intro and an outro and people only watch 1 minute, I mean, technically that's worse than it being a 1 minute video and people watching the full minute, you know? I feel like a lot of things are stylistic touches that may or may not affect anything, so the best is to go for things you really like yourself, right? Yeah. And again, it's like a learning process too, right? I didn't do any transitions really, or any big transitions or whatever for the Kenshi playthrough, but with the Final Fantasy ones, I'm starting to add, you know, some transitions and some references. I'm putting video references within the video because I think it adds a little bit to it too, right? So experimenting with new techniques. I got a compliment on the Persona vid that they like the editing, which was nice. So I'm slowly starting to add a couple things. Need to do more shorts. That's the other thing too, right? Oh, that was you, Miguel? Wait, was that you? Oh snap! Well, I appreciate it. That was very kind of you to say from an analytics standpoint. That is true. It's just because at the end, that's the thing too. I was also contemplating getting rid of the outro too. Yeah, that's true. There's little difference between a 40-minute, 50-second watch time and a 41-minute watch time. That is true, right? But then part of me is also like, all right, maybe I'll try to min-max the algorithm a little bit, because if someone watches the full 40-minute 50 seconds out of a 40-minute 50-second video, that's gonna look better than a 40-minute 50-second watch time on a 41-minute video. I know it doesn't work that way, but there is an analytic that they give you for watch time and retention. Yeah, exactly. It's the percentage. So any percentage that I can squeeze out of that, because we're not just talking about a 10-second intro. It's whatever fat that I deem to be fat, right? Cut the fat. 2-minute raid Shadow Legend at the beginning of vids would be great too. They must be making bank, man, because everyone I watch, well, not everyone, but I'll get like a Shadow Raid Legends ad like every other week or something. I'll see it somewhere, right? As far as shorts, I do have ideas for shorts. I just haven't gotten around to like clipping anything out, which could be pretty easy. Here's also another thing about shorts. I was trying to figure out if shorts act like, again, algorithm, however it works. What's going on, Gray? How you doing? I'm trying to figure out if shorts help or hurt, because I've seen mixed reviews that shorts can actually hurt a channel, but I don't have like conclusive evidence to back it up. But really it comes down to I just haven't clipped anything. Because if you notice, and here's one of the reasons why I was saying the type of vid content could potentially hurt a channel. Did you notice, have you guys all noticed that, I'm sure you've seen this for some of your main like gaming channels you watch. They'll have a channel for their normal channel. They'll have a channel for live streams. They might even have a channel for like clips, because no one knows like if I do everything on one channel, how much it's gonna hurt it or not. Like if you know what I mean. And again, I try not to get worried about that, but I'm a small content creator, so any edge I can get. Algorithm hates different kinds of vids on one channel, which is dumb. Exactly. And I think the proof is like established creators put stuff, they make secondary channels for the other kind of stuff. Really, they need to integrate it all into one channel, which is what I'm gonna do. There's no way I'm gonna make a different channel. That sounds ridiculous to me. I'm not gonna do that. I think it's just YouTube fudging growth metrics by forcing people to run multiple channels. I think it's just because people don't understand, but maybe that is proof that it hurts a channel, because they obviously, established creators, they probably understand how YouTube works better than I do and how we do, right? Good discussion, by the way. I appreciate it. Oh no, where was I? Over here? Don't be boring. Oh shit, don't be boring. All right.
Repeat it again.
Here I am.
Over and over and over again. It's very important that you don't crack under pressure, because this is an iterative process. Even Yoshi P delayed Endwalker, it's okay, man. If you gotta delay whatever it is you're making, whether it's a video or if it's a drawing or a live stream or whatever it is, for it to be good, let that happen. Because you'd rather have a good product that's delayed than a bad one that's rushed. Amen. Now, I have a general rule when it comes to planning that you should keep in mind, and that is, don't be fucking boring, dude. That's the worst thing you can do. It's more important than being interesting. Don't be fucking boring. I am telling you, being boring is pretty much the worst sin you can possibly.
Easier said than done. Easier said than done.
Possibly commit.
I mean, my whole thought process was to just be myself. Maybe I'm boring. I don't know. If I am boring, it is what it is. I could make improvements. But my overall, the plan was to just do things how I kind of felt like doing them, you know? No, I'm boring? No, you're I'm reading it. I don't think you're boring, Paul. You're not boring. Don't say you're boring. But I think part of it is, what is boring? There's the video side of it, and then there's like the vocal side of it too. I think the vocals play a huge part in it as well. I don't think you're boring if that means anything. I appreciate it. Thank you. Best word of advice I've ever been given was always just be you. Right. That's how I view it too. You're not boring, you're just cruel and dismissive. Cold, cruel, heartless. That was for the job interviews, but applies to all things, I think. I think that's true because he might get into this at some point in the video too. Using content creation as an example. If I were to make, this is an extreme example because I don't think it would work out algorithm wise, but say I were to make like Call of Duty videos just because they were like popular and I didn't actually like doing it, I feel like I would get burned out because I got burned out doing Kenshi vids and I actually like Kenshi. So the burnout is real, right? And when I got burned out doing Kenshi vids, I kind of just took a break from Kenshi, right? Instead of trying to force it. Semi-related to the don't be boring topic, but more related to the just be yourself and kind of do your thing, right? I only get jobs because I know people. I mean, that's a large portion of the game. It's who you know, right? See, when I just be me, I get asked to leave the restaurant. That's just disaster things though, right? Separating art from gaming makes sense. Separating live stream clips and or how to say gaming content doesn't make as much sense to me. True. But I feel like a lot of people there's so many different approaches that people have been taking. Just look at your favorite gaming channels. You'll see a lot of variation, I'm sure of that, right?
I've personally never been boring. So if you want to be like me, you want to hit certain emotions with people. Make sure they're guided throughout the video. And I mean, this is you can forget this pretty easily, but you want to constantly be thinking.
So while I was peeing, I had another thought. Just thinking about the don't be boring topic and being yourself topic. If you look at whatever you define as a successful YouTube channel or a successful stream, think about all the ones that you watch. The personalities of these creators are very different. They vary so much, right? I watch creators who are very energetic, very hyped up. I watch creators who are very chill, very low key. They don't speak with a lot of energy, but they've all found success because it's not just creators who have, varying personalities. It's the people who watch them too. There's so many people watching. You're bound to find people who vibe with you as you are as a person. The hard part is just finding them, but they're out there.
Does this make the person, let's say, does it make them excited? Are they excited by this point in the video? No? Okay. Are they laughing at this point in the video? Are they intrigued? Are they surprised? Are they on the edge of their seat? Are they fucking cooming from the big plot point that just happened? In whatever it is you're making, there's pacing. And that's what boring's all about. It's not about being constantly on and constantly having the height of production at all times. It's about satisfying that human urge for dopamine.
Oh, good old dopamine, huh?
Story. Because at the end of the day, compelling visuals and following trends are important.
Yeah, very neat to do.
What about when everyone can do that? I fully expect that one day all of you will be able to make videos just as good as me because unfortunately I am a mortal being. And everything that I can do, you technically can do.
That is true. But based on my understanding of editing, takes a lot of skill to edit in that way. Yeah, Lunarcon already seems like it's pretty big. Final Fantasy has grown a lot, and events like this will only grow with it, right? As long as the game remains bueno. Dopamine is overrated, says Paul. I love me some good old dopamine. Takes a lot of editing to get to that skill, right? It does take a lot of editing to get to that skill. It's achievable, but it takes a lot of practice, right? A lot of practice.
Sets me apart is my creative prowess.
And it's something you could do even with someone like P.I.N.T. You're impressed with the people who are running Lunarcon? That's true. We should give a round of applause for the people behind the scenes too who make it happen, right? But you could do this with any channel. I do it sometimes just for inspiration when I need some motivation. Watch any big channel or someone that you like and go back 5 years, or go back to their older videos, their oldest videos, their older videos. You'll see how differently things have changed. Editing style, vocal quality, and vocal mannerisms, the way they actually speak, things like that. It changes, it evolves over time, right? And the Eorzean aquarium too. The people behind the scenes who put together the Eorzean aquarium must be really good people, you know.
Who I am and the stories I make. Essentially, what I'm saying is there's always an arms race for quality, for technical quality, and everyone can get it. I mean, hell, you can buy it. You could hire an editor. But the core video, the core content, the core game being good, that's what's important.
Yeah, community events are blowing up.
Now,
it is fun.
I think
it's
you
fun
need a
having
good
these.
base. A good base to make it good is paramount, and that's what I've been saying, frankly. Now, I think there's 3 points you want to sort of hit to keep that engagement, to keep the uptime, and to keep the emotion. So with the story, you got to make sure it's paced well, dude. You got to make sure you're not drowning people in just crazy cuts. And
so that's what I try to do as much as I can with the simple playthrough. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm editing my playthrough. But I made this realization a long time ago. I'm not just going to take 3-hour VODs of me playing through Final Fantasy and just upload them. I tried to make an effort to hit the important points, the funny points, the plot points, interactions, things like that, instead of, you know, having just a big old hunk of blah, right? That's as much as I can do with a playthrough.
Crazy gags, blah, 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 blah. You got to make sure they can digest it. But you've also got to have uptime. You got to make sure that they can, you know, they're not bored, frankly. That's what those two mean. And then the third one, I think this is my favorite one. You got to hit their emotions. Again, you got to make them cry. You got to make them.
So here's the thing with these types of these playthrough, like Final Fantasy reaction vids. So a lot of the work is done via the story, but then of course it's the reaction of the actual person on the cam or whatever, right? I actually kind of worry about that at some points because, like, you know, for example, thinking of like certain death scenes, if I go watch a reaction vid, a lot of times they're like bawling their eyes out, like very sad and everything, where I might just be a little more stoic. So that's where my doubt comes in, where it's like, well, I'm not like shedding tears over this. Maybe people will like it as much. You know what I mean? Simple thoughts like that I think about sometimes.
Laugh. You got to make them intrigued. You got to make them wonder what's coming up next. Figure out how to pique their emotions. Figure out how to control their emotions. Now, all right, cut the music. Cut this shit out.
You're not a robot.
I know why you're really here.
You're not Paul.
That's right. That's right. My most asked question. It's not any of this stupid bullshit. It's not any of this. You want to know one thing and one thing only. You want to know how I P.I.N.T edit my videos.
Blender.
That's right. Yeah.
Some other things. A Blender, big one.
Can I? It's all right. It's like a round of applause.
My quality, like dip.
I could get.
No.
No.
The quality is really good. The editing.
Yeah, you got. Yeah. Okay. I'm glad you guys are so passionate. So, I'm gonna tell you exactly all the secrets I have to how to edit my videos. So, first of all, I watch how other people edit. Now, this is in my inspiration part, which I glossed over pretty quickly.
We touched on that,
but I mean, it's pretty normal.
We talked
about it.
You
want to find other people who are making the things you want to make. That's what you want. You want to find out what it is you want to make, figure out how you want to make it, and then, now this is the crazy part, my friends.
Copy them. Boom.
You do it. Because technical talent is just practice. If you want to know how to edit like me, open up editing software and start. Find a YouTube video that's edited well, try and replicate it. Fail for like a week, and then at the end of that week, have a pretty good estimation of how to do it. I remember
some program on my computer was keeping track. I used DaVinci Resolve, which is a free program for editing. I saw it. I forget when I saw it, where I saw it. But it was keeping track of how long I was playing, or how long I've been in the program, my editing program. I've been in there for like thousands of hours. I've been in there for a long time. I was actually really surprised about that.
I used to play Overwatch back in the day, and I really wanted like a green screen of Sombra dancing. And instead of going to the green screen in the game, I learned how to like cut out Sombra from the game, like against like a normal background with like manual frame by frame shit. And that taught me like everything I know about rotoscoping in general. Just take
Rotoscoping.
upon stupid projects, do
Holy,
them
I don't know what
wrong,
that
and you'll
is.
figure out how to do them right over time.
I have an idea what that means,
mean,
rotoscoping.
Frankly, I think 99% of the people who have asked me how I edit have never even opened After Effects.
Microsoft Movie Maker?
Like another chunk of those have never even edited a video before and maybe won't, you know?
How is
Starting is important. Not being afraid of how much you don't know. I know it's daunting.
I
but just
have
start with something like, okay, I can probably make a square move from the left side of the screen to the other side. And you'll notice that a lot of what I'm doing in this video is the same thing. This is just a recorded shot that's zooming in. This is
I know how to do
maybe
that.
that's a little more advanced, but it's just exposure being turned up and then down. I mean, the bounce is a kind of an advanced thing, but even that's just something I copy and paste at this point.
a little bit of a different subject here, but kind of in the same topic, right? I got into music in college quite a bit, like audio engineering side of things, and it started with the thought of like, hey, I want to learn how to like record something and like mix it, and then it started with me looking at one of my housemates who use this program. And the first time I opened this program and I looked at it, I was like, holy smokes, this looks crazy. I don't know how to use any of this. I'm never going to be able to do it. Yeah, Fruity Loops, man. This is where I have my, the outro that I used, like, I made that on Fruity Loops, like many years ago, and I figured it'd be good to use for the outro. Basically, the moral of the story is, first time I got in here, I was like, I have no idea what any of these things do. But moral of the story is, this looks daunting as hell, right? This looks super daunting. Probably have no idea what any of these things do. But if you spend time in here every day over the course of a long period of time, you'll come to understand, the functions of each little thing here. So my style of beat making is like, kind of chopping up samples like this and then layering them. I had like a MIDI and everything. But it wasn't a very robust MIDI, so I ended up kind of manually sequencing them. But this should be the thing. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I blew your ears off. Yeah. This is it. I just wanted a chance to show this off too, because I was actually proud of. I actually made something. And then I was able to use it in the video, right? So this is the part I used, and I chopped it up and turned it into a thing. It's good. There, I said something nice. I hated saying that. That was it. Boom, baby. And then you can make your own stuff here. Creation, baby. Same thing with the editing software I use with Resolve. I had to learn it from scratch. Look kind of daunting, but eventually you spend time in there and you figure out how to do things, and then you do it, right? Boom, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. There it is, baby. What you're saying is to just get started tomorrow. No, you get started right now, Paul. No sleep for the next 24 hours. You just start and you do. You do the thing that you do and do it. All right, let's go.
You sort of figure it out. You build up your skill set.
By the way, we're 32 minutes in. There's still 20 minutes left.
It's like an artist drawing. How does an artist get good at drawing? They draw. How do you get good at playing the piano? You play the piano. Now, obviously, there's a bit more nuance to that, and there's different ways to learn it. But trust me, if you want to get good at editing, you just have to edit. And there's no secrets, there's no shortcuts.
There it is.
For skill.
It's the answer.
All right, next slide, please.
No shortcuts.
The shortcuts. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you about all the shortcuts. I was lying. There's so many shortcuts you can take. Dude, don't you fucking dare do everything the hard way. Holy shit. Dude, cutting corners is like my favorite thing in the entire world. I would not be here today if it wasn't for cutting corners.
All right. Using the music example as an example, right? My style of production was sampling, meaning I take a song and I chop it up into sections that I want to use. That's the long way. There's automated programs that do it for you. Relating back to this, there's shortcuts that one can take as well to make your workflow flow a little bit smoother.
Honestly, love it more than my own parents. Cutting corners got me through college. I mean,
same.
Frankly, cutting corners isn't always worth it, right? Whenever you've got like a really good scene that you want to work on and it needs to be good, then you maybe put in like 18 hours. Like this shot took me about 18 hours to replicate. You know, you want to put effort in for stuff like this. This shit matters. But generally for like, you know, the unimportant parts, like the intro or, you know, the emotional climax, maybe there you want to cut corners. And you may be thinking, Pint, no way. There's no way you cut corners. There's no way you cut corners. I don't believe it. There's no... Yoshi P wouldn't cut corners.
This has actually been a really good video. When y'all told me that Pint was going to do a panel thing, I was wondering, oh, what kind of panel would it be? The first thing that popped into my mind was maybe it's about, you know, how to make a video or something, because Pint's really good at that. So I'm pretty happy that that's what it turned out to be. What were the other panels like? Did y'all catch any of the other panels? This has been a nice stream. Yeah, it's good. It's great. It's great that you popped in. We've been seeing a lot of new faces over the past couple of weeks, so it's just been really fun to have. You listened to that 2 fishing ones yesterday? How come you weren't in the panel? You should have been in the panel.
While also, you know, not expending themselves to an unnecessary degree for something that can be done far easier with far less effort. Now, you do want to do things the hard way sometimes. Like I say, when you've got like a really big scene coming up or the emotional climax, the part of the video people will remember, the intro, probably not the outro, because only like 30% of people who watch my videos stick around to the end. But the important parts that, you know, maybe there you try really hard, right?
Are we working? Patreon for getting Kev better internet. We're going again.
Hard, right? Maybe there you go all out. I remember I had like a 30-second intro for 10,000 Hours of Black Mage, and that actually took me like 2 days to make because I was just going crazy with every shot. It was so laggy, my computer could barely run it. Maybe there you go.
So here's one of the hardest parts for me when I'm editing is it's so slow. It's so slow when I edit because my computer takes the playback is super choppy. Sorrel's seen it on stream, and that's just me doing playthroughs. When I try to do the montages and I'm layering like clips on clips and things like that, it gets really slow.
Crazy with the editing. Figure out what parts people focus on and what parts people don't focus on. Because a surprising amount of shots in my videos are literally just me and G-Pose zooming in on my character's face, and then it's funny because it's zoomed in. Look, it's funny. Isn't it funny? Look at how it's zoomed in. It is. It's so funny, right?
Pretty funny. It's also squished a little bit.
All right.
What did you find, Disaster?
You, my friend, are ready to become a god. You've made your video. You're all good. You're ready to upload it to the internet. Oh, man, I could never be prouder of you. It's time to get those clicks, baby. Now, let me tell you.
Gonna get the clicks?
If nobody clicks your video, they're not gonna see it. I know this is like the boring homework part no one wants to hear about.
Yeah, send it over to me.
Thumbnails, titles. This is like doing math. It sucks. I get it.
Analytics,
you're tempted.
algorithm.
You just finished your video. Oh, shit. Oh, I know how to make videos. I don't know how to make good thumbnails and titles. Don't worry about that, man. If you have to delay the video for a week to get a good thumbnail and title, do it. Because in my opinion, a good thumbnail and title is about half of the video. Do you think, like, really that these games would be so popular if we didn't have like the huge cinematic trailers? You think Shadowbringers would have been as popular without Riding Home? You think ARR would have been good without a fucking 9-minute cinematic trailer that like perfectly encapsulated the entire plot of 1.0? In fact, probably improved upon it. No. It's marketing, baby. And marketing makes the world go round. That's why you're here today. That's why I got these red pigtails. It's marketing, baby. It's a brand. Never forget that. So,
I don't have
I
red
like
pigtails.
to go by the Pint system.
Oh no!
For thumbnails. Now, it's a pretty simple system. First of all,
Picture.
you have to pique their interest.
Pique
That's
their
right.
interest.
Pique their interest. Pull them in. Give them something to latch onto. Something
Intense.
Ooh, what's that?
Intensify.
What's that little thing I could click on? Something eye-catching, something engaging, something well composed. Not too many elements, but not too few. Not too flashy colors, but not unflashy enough to where it's not seen. Make it nice and bright. Make it nice and clear.
By the way, the thumbnail making portion of this, I actually really enjoy. I have a lot of fun. Now, my thumbnails might not be the best, and they might not be the most clickable, but I've unlocked a new like creative process or creative part of my brain that I didn't know I had. And it's actually been fun, especially when we do them on stream and y'all are just kind of chilling. We're just chilling and listening to music and stuff.
Then, my friends, you influence their emotions. That's right. Now that you've caught their attention with a good composition and good colors, how does it make them feel? How does it make them
Explicably clickable.
feel? Then you nurture curiosity. You've made them feel a certain way. Are they happy? Are they sad? Are they shocked? Are you doing a big pog face
Nurture
that makes them
cursity.
think, oh my god, what are they pogging so much about? Nurture curiosity. Every thumbnail should have a question. What's the video after this? Your thumbnail is the first shot of a video.
Yeah.
Don't forget that. It's the
Thumbnails, more important that there's like a science behind it. Yeah, there's a science behind how to make a thumbnail, what to include in it. It's evident by, you know, YouTubing it or Googling it, and you'll find an entire community based around giving tips for that. It's actually pretty freaking crazy.
It's the first shot of your intro. It's the first thing people see of your video. It needs to give them some kind of hook. Every book opens with some kind of hook. It's a big thing in writing. It's a big thing in production. Never forget that. And once you've done all of that, once you've pinned that down, step 3, baby. You take control.
Oh,
Take control of them. They are yours. They are now just another metric, another brick in the wall, another dollar in your bank account. Another thing for you to use to inflate your ego. Just add a little bit more.
y'all ever watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia? The dentist system. That's what this reminds me of.
Now, just one more thing on thumbnails before I go. I think that technical aspects are less important than the emotional aspects. Some of the best thumbnails are the ones that make the emotion of the viewer the most crazy. In hindsight, I probably should have got some examples of some good thumbnails. Oh, would you look at that? A good thumbnail. You know, that's why you got the pog faces that look super dumb. Frankly, they're kind of embarrassing to do. That's why you got like the weird shading. That's why you got guns. This isn't my best work, but you can see why it's what it's going for, what the emotions it's trying to carry.
You use both?
It's more important
So,
that you get the.
I don't think. Well, maybe. You know, this I don't know. What's the industry standard for video editing? No idea. For music production, Pro Tools, industry standard. Doesn't mean Fruity Loops is any worse, because there's great producers who make things on Fruity Loops. Really, you know, the DAW, the program, whatever you use, it's whatever you use. It's up to you to make it good. But we're talking about right now performance and technicalities. So maybe one of those actually does perform better than the others. I have no idea. Zastra sent me a thing. I'm gonna hold it up on the side. We got to get through this vid, okay? Because we got 15 minutes left, and we've been here for a long time.
Didn't you get all the exact colors and the exact correct rendering right? Because thumbnails aren't art, you know.
Premiere's
one
probably
of my
better.
best friends, he's a photographer. He takes great photos. But if any of his photos were a YouTube thumbnail, no one would click them. Because marketing isn't art. It's very different for a reason. But you know what, my friend? I'm proud of you. Look at you. You did it. You made a video and you uploaded it to YouTube.
Yeah.
And oh my god, it's so bad. Can we get some sad music? In
Oh,
the
this
chat
place looks pretty.
for this awful video.
this house.
They just uploaded. I mean, frankly, they should be ashamed. Yeah. I'm sorry, dude. You worked months on that video and it was awful. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, frankly, I think you should give up. Oh, sorry. No, I'm looking at my notes. I just misread it. Don't give up. Don't give up.
Never give up. Never surrender.
Look,
Tim Allen.
Your
Galaxy
first
Quest.
video, your second video, your 500th video is gonna have flaws. It's gonna have things you can improve. It's never gonna be perfect.
Nope.
And there's always gonna be
give
things
up.
where you look at it after and think,
He corrected
"Fuck,
himself.
I could have done that better. I could have done this better." I mean, look at this live stream,
No,
right?
Paul.
There's definitely things we could have done better
No,
here,
no,
right?
no.
Production team. Anyway, dude, that's mean. They can't talk back. I'm just roasting them. Can we get a round of applause for the production team? All right, that's enough. That's enough.
Giving up before you started? Nope. Nope. You
Yeah,
already
sad
lost
music
them,
again.
Paul.
All right,
don't give up.
Don't give up on your video, guys, because it will be bad. It will be bad, and you'll regret things about it, and you'll probably be embarrassed about it years from now. But that's just part of it, because no creator.
I don't think I get embarrassed about it. I'm more at this point, I'm more just anxious about what other people think about it, not necessarily embarrassed. But when I first started, just an anxious feeling, like, how will I be perceived? Will people like me? You know, typical stuff that, you know, go to a new school, starting a new job, new relationship, or, you know, going on a first date. How will I be perceived? Will they like me? I hope everyone likes me, right? Things like that.
In the fucking world exists that doesn't have a bad video on their timeline. Some people think my best videos are the videos that I'm most embarrassed by. I have hundreds of thousands of views on videos that I fucking hate and want no one to see. But they're there and they're part of the journey.
One of my friends, when I was doing music, because when I was doing music and making beats, I was very embarrassed to show people, because again, like, oh, this is probably not good. They're probably not gonna like it. They're gonna laugh at it. One of my friends who I was doing music with, also played baseball with, Vlad, cool guy. He told me, I remember one time he told me something along the line, the lines of, like, art is meant to be shared, no matter, you know, how good or bad you think it is. It is your duty as an artist to put it out there for the world, to share it for people to see. And I was like, you know what, man? I like that.
Look, it's going back to that piano analogy. If the first song you play is you barely being able to crank
Do
out
it, Paul.
Twinkle Twinkle Little Star without fucking up a note, sure, that's
Do it, Paul. Yeah, you just gotta do it, right? You just gotta do it. I remember you telling me this. See, I still think about it, right? Yeah, Paul, just, you know, go play and go make something, right? You just gotta do it. You gotta start somewhere, right?
kind of embarrassing at the family wedding. But you're never gonna play fucking Ode to Joy by Beethoven if you never ever start and never confront that feeling of having a bad product.
Yep.
Having a bad product is part of the entire process, and get used to it now because it never stops. I still think my videos are bad. Even 10K as a Black Mage, I'm like, the writing in that wasn't what it could be. Oh man, I could totally improve that. But I digress.
At least with videos, I won't get fired.
I think you also shouldn't focus on.
But
the
with work, I
metrics.
could get
You
fired.
shouldn't focus on, oh, my video didn't get enough views, because maybe it is a good video. Maybe it just doesn't have the views that it should be getting right now. That's an option too. I mean, look at Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy definitely doesn't appeal to like the biggest chunk of people in real life, right? MMOs are kind of a niche in and of themselves. It's definitely not the most popular game in the world, but Yoshi and that team, they focus on making a good product that.
I mean, what are the popular games these days? It's like shooters, right? As far I'm like based off like streaming metrics and things like that. Maybe not that I like dove into them, but like shooters like Valorant, like Fortnite, things like that. Call of Duty, Minecraft is huge. There's definitely games that you would consider popular. I think one of the reasons why they're really popular is because they also resonate with a younger audience, like kids. Like, I think I read somewhere, or someone told me, I saw in a video somewhere, someone told me I saw in a video that most of the gaming space, the watchers are actually like kids. That's why, again, that's why like Minecraft, Fortnite, things like that is super popular, right? But MMO's got to have a solid, pretty solid player base here.
Doesn't focus on player metrics and engagement like some other games do. And I think that's really valuable, just trying to make a good product, not worrying too much about how much the viewers and stuff, and how much the player base and what the numbers are, right? If you know deep down in your heart that you do have a good product, then you don't really need to worry about how many views it'll get.
So talking, since Pint's kind of talking about this, yeah, I took some good photos in Cyberpunk 2 just for the heck of it. Since Pint's kind of talking about this and like marketability and whatever, I didn't really think about it too much. But when I first started like streaming 5 years ago, that was like the first little stint Paul was there. Again, shout out to Paul, OG. Forged by 5 years of friendship, he is honor bound and duty bound to support me and watch all my videos now. But at the time, again, wasn't thinking too hard about it. But I think there's different ways people become successful. Like one is being like really good at a game. Another one is being like, have a very like outgoing personality, whatever. Right? For me, it was more so my main hope was that people would watch or tune in or hang out because they just like me as a person. That was like the edge. That was my edge that I was trying to use. I figured like, I think I'm a decent person, likable enough that maybe, that would be my hook. And that's what I'm still relying on, because I don't think, the editing or the videos or whatever, there's nothing extraordinary. I try to rely on whatever personality I have. Again, going back to the being yourself point, like people liking me for me, if people were ever gonna watch, right? Yeah, likable enough. I mean, that's all we can hope for sometimes, right? Just to be likable enough.
Because you'll always want
tolerable
views. How many do you want? You want 100,000? Sounds pretty great, right? Then you get 100,000 3 times in a row, and then you get 50,000. Oh no, your life's ruined. What are you gonna do? You got 50,000 views? I thought you got 100,000 views.
That's a lot of views.
You're making backwards progress. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about backwards progress, about losing people, about gaining people. As long as you can just focus on making a consistently better product time and time again, and knowing that it will be bad and that you'll improve on that badness, that is what it's all about.
Hell yeah. Oh my god. All right, where are we? 45. We're almost there. Thanks for powering through.
The better you'll be in the end. I mean, look at this. Think I could have done this without learning so much about the video game, without friends to teach me, without
I think I missed something here. I'm going to attempt to go back a little bit.
Without get how poorly it did. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, seriously. Like, are you sure you want to do this? Do you even like it? Maybe that's for another panel. But
wait, I think we got to go back to a tiny bit more.
All about gaining people. As long as you can just focus on making a consistently better product time and time again, and knowing that it will be bad and that you'll improve on that badness, that is what it's all about.
We talked about this in one of the last streams. I don't know who was around. It was one of the thumbnail making streams. I went over some of the channel analytics and everything. I try not to look at it. I mean, I look at it every day. I have an app. There's a studio app. I open it up every day to check comments, but the numbers are always there every time I open it up. Views for a particular video, views overall, subs gained over the last whatever days and everything, right? So sometimes it's hard not to think about it, but overall, like I don't think I've ever been affected thinking about those numbers. Would I like numbers to go up? Sure. Bigger numbers, better. Sure. It's like watching a stock portfolio sometimes, right? If you're a long-term investor, more so, right? If you're a trader, doesn't apply to you. But if you're a long-term investor, right? Best thing you can probably do is set it and forget it. There's no point in, again, long-term investor in a good company. There's no point in, checking your portfolio every day because it's fickle, right? There's ups and downs. But as long as the company or you as a person are making higher highs and higher lows, no matter how up and down you go, higher lows, higher highs, you're still on a upward trend here, right? Invested my life savings in meme and NFTs. Ooh, I got a little bit of AMC. I'm still holding on to AMC and GME. Just saying, Just holding on to some.
Now that you've done your video, and again, let's not forget how poorly it did. I mean, seriously, like, are you sure you want to do this? Do you even like it? Maybe that's for another panel. But now that you've finished your video, you've got to run it back, baby. Start again. Start with a fresh idea. Start with something that excites you. Start with something where you won't make those same mistakes. You'll make different mistakes, and it'll be bad in a different way. But as long as you make more mistakes, that's more things you can learn.
Yeah, Paul.
And the more things
Failure.
you can learn, the
Mistakes.
better you'll be in the end.
It's also, again, being in the environment consistently over a long period of time. That's how you get better.
I mean, look at this. Think I could have done this without learning so much about the video game, without friends to teach me, without watching other content creators, without doing shit myself and failing
The journey, baby.
No, this isn't the first time I've done something like this. I mean, it kind of is the first time I've done like a live show like this. But I mean, the first time I went live on stream, and now here I am doing like an organized live event. That's pretty crazy, right? It's all progress, my friends. And
You just gotta stick around long enough.
Now.
You try to get
Now
rid
you've
of
run
me.
it back. You've made your video.
I'm still here.
And you've tried and tried again. You're ready. You're ready for the grind. You're ready to become a god like me and Yoshi P.
It's kind of crazy. Again, I hit this realization a couple months ago when I was finishing up the Kenshi playthrough, but I've been consistently trying to put out stuff or make something for like the past like over a year now. This is the longest stint I've had. Like, as I mentioned, I streamed a little bit in the past. That's where I met Paul the first time. That stint probably lasted like, I don't know, 4 months, something like that, 5 months, 6 months. I don't know. I don't remember. Paul might remember. But this is the longest stint I had, and it's been kind of tiring, right? A lot of my free time is spent like in the video editor or thinking about like next ideas and everything. So I've been trying to like separate, take into account like, hey, it's not a big deal. Like, live your life too. Like, take care of your life. Get your workouts in, eat well, keep your relationships as strong as they can be. But it's been fun though.
So get out there and make some content. Make people laugh, make people engaged, and most of all, my friends,
the most fun part about all this has been being able to, meet people here. Like Disastra, I met a little under a year ago. Sorrel, I know in real life, so I don't know if that one counts. Paul, I met like 5 years ago, and it's fun hanging out with y'all consistently over a long period of time, right? It's always been the best part.
make people cry. Thank you.
Oh, hey, that was a good.
Can I get a round of applause?
I'm glad we watched that.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm glad. I'm glad this failed today because we got to do this.
Now, hold on. Don't stop applauding for a second. I'd like to thank my producer Quaid. That's right, big Q. He's the guy fucking up all the stuff behind the scenes.
Look at those sideburns.
No, seriously, couldn't have done this shit without him. He's the guy
Wade
doing all the slides, doing all the sounds.
You're just here for your court-appointed community service.
Considering how much he's had to deal with tonight, I've just had to read from a. Frankly,
am I supposed to be reporting something?
Me
to
and
somebody?
him last night were up for like 9 hours making this whole thing because we kind of left it till last minute. And hey, that's a mistake we can learn from, right, Quaid? Anyway, also I'd like to thank a few FC members that have helped me a lot tonight. We've got Ducky. Ducky, you probably met at the door.
Oh, it's the jacket you like to wear, Disaster.
We
Look
got
at that.
Scarlett here, who's been the main camera. They're actually backstage right now, sleeping in a bed. Frankly, I think we need to talk about their practice in the workplace. And then we've got Jub, who's up there in the top left.
Ducky, Scarlet, and Jub. I like that name, Jub.
Also, I'd like to thank everybody that I mentioned this Lunarcon, all the inspirations I have, all the people who've helped me, all the people who've inspired me along the way. And most of all, I'd like to thank Lunarcon for allowing me this opportunity and giving me a deadline so that I would stick to it and actually make something cool on stream for once instead of just going live and doing the MSQ again and again and again. So yeah, I thank you guys a lot. And I mean, we've still got 15 minutes left, but I got no content. You what do you think, producers? He thinks we should just end it, and I think that's a good idea. Hey, maybe you can go back to the other stream starting screen, and we'll do it like that. Thank you guys very much for coming. It's been a great 40 minutes. I know we had an hour, but I mean, this is a lot harder than I thought. We went longer in rehearsals.
Look at this.
So yeah, thank you very much for showing up.
That's one of the things
This has
about
been great. I'll see you guys next time. Subscribe to Pint. Subscribe Pint on YouTube. Pint on Twitch.
about these events.
Make sure you Twitch Prime to try.
There's an audience.
Thank you guys. I'll see you guys later.
It's probably too late to let that.
I wonder how hard it was to get seats. It was probably really difficult, right? Unless they're like, VIPs or something. Keep listening for a bit, it gets funny. Okay. That's pretty cool. Look at that. I bet the lines were super long to get into like the main plots
Guys,
and everything.
I've just been informed I wasn't supposed to swear on stream. I'm so sorry. All of that will be bleeped out in post.
Nope.
I didn't mean any of it. You misheard. It's all right. Cut the silly music. This is a serious moment. I'm sorry. Don't sue Lunarcon. They're a good organization. Sorry, children. This is reality. Grow up. Goodbye.
You're gonna owe so much money in the swear jar.
Wow. I think that was great though. Oh, they're cleaning up the stage now. Facebook spending $1 billion a year on the metaverse, and Final Fantasy XIV already exists. Did we had this discussion? We're talking about metaverses in Persona, because we had the metaverse distributor thing. Aren't MMOs just already metaverses, right? We have an avatar. We do things. We have housing. We have an economy. I didn't notice how much he swore in it until I listened to it now a second time. No, that video was really good. I thought the video was great. I thought it was very insightful. I thought we had a good conversation here on the side. I think it was really good. This was really good. I gotta check out the other ones though, but this was really cool.